This is the Getting Into Alignment podcast. Here we play in the quantum world of possibilities. If you desire it, you get to have it. My name is Alexa Ray Smith. I'm a business coach and spiritual teacher for women in business. I'm here to help you unlock your personal power and tap into your magnetism so that you can manifest the most incredible life for yourself and build the business of your dreams. These episodes will help you plug into the energy of infinite potentiality and teach you the tools you need to play in this world where limitations don't exist. On this podcast, I'll be talking to you about energetics, mindset, embodiment, spirituality, money, and business. Everything that you want is on the other side of you getting into alignment. Do you want to have the freedom to design your own life? Are you ready to know that you have the power to create any reality that you desire? If so, Alchemy of Manifestation, my manifestation community, is designed to help you manifest anything that you've ever desired. Within this year-long membership, you will learn proven techniques to gain the abundance, success, and happiness that you've always desired. You're going to learn to tap into the power of the universe so that you can alchemize any reality that you've ever wanted. Not only will you learn to manifest your new reality, you'll also learn how to build a new identity so that you become the person who effortlessly, energetically aligns with all of their desires. So if you're completely ready to transform your life and unlock your full potential, then join Alchemy of Manifestation today, and you can start manifesting everything you've ever desired. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Getting Into Alignment podcast. I'm your host, Alexa Ray Smith, and we are on day 2 of our 30 days of podcasts, and I've decided they're all going to be on a manifestation topic, something to do with manifestation. Essentially, each one of these podcasts is designed to help you with an area that I see that I have personally struggled with, that I collectively see as a manifestation teacher, as a coach, that I've seen over my years now of doing this. These are the collective themes that I really see a lot of people falling into. And because they keep falling into them, they seemingly have a difficult time manifesting, but everything is just what we believe it to be, right? And a lot of the time, because we aren't approaching manifestation from the right way, we've learned manifestation from such a linear point of view. Like even when I was on TikTok today, I'll scroll while my videos are uploading, and there was this guy and he was drawing this triangle about how to manifest. And it was like, are we really still doing this? Are we really still believing that if I draw a triangle and if I write some things in a triangle in a certain way that it's going to manifest? Like, what? Like, why are we so willing to do this, but we are so unwilling to look at how we are living in our day-to-day life? When who you are living, who you're being as most of the time, who you are moving as, who you're making decisions as, how you're holding your frequency throughout your day, the habits that you have on the daily, who you're actually being day in and day out. That is so much more important than any manifestation ritual that you have for 15 minutes a day. Sure, yeah, it's really great to have rituals, and a ritual isn't going to do shit if for the rest of the day you're living out of alignment with the version of you who already has that already. And the whole notion of acting as if was always really complicated to me and in my mind. And the whole notion of the law of assumption has really been blowing up in the TikTok community recently. And with younger generations, which I think is beautiful because I just really feel like the collective was like, okay, if the law of attraction teachings were working, then so many more people would be manifesting consistently right now. And we aren't seeing that being the case. Yes, there's a lot of people manifesting a lot of awesome things, but we're still seeing that a lot of people are not successfully able to do this. So it's like what's missing here? And I think a lot of people just got fed up with the law of attraction, thinking about what you want because yeah, if you think about what you want, that's what you'll get. But it isn't that easy, right? Like we have all been programmed to think about the things that we don't want to happen. We've all been programmed to worry, to doubt, and to fear. And so that keeps us out of merely being able to just think about and believe what we want to. There are some steps that we need to cultivate in there and in that process. And I find that when we come at it in such a heady way, because our mind is really the problem, right? Like our mind is the thing that's limited. Our mind is the thing that's conditioned. Our mind is the thing that's programmed. So I think that we have to stop trying to do manifestation from such a mindset point of view. And I think that we need to drop back into our heart, into our body, into our feelings. And that's what the law of assumption is really telling you what to do, is assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, because the law of assumption originates from Neville Goddard, and that's what his teachings, if you boil down all of his really truly amazing books and teachings, that would probably be the most prominent teaching that could summarize all of it. Assume the wish fulfilled. And this piece is so, so important because when you hear me talk about frequency work, this is what I'm talking about. When you hear other people telling you that you have to be and not do, when you hear people talking about embodiment, this is what it is. When you are able to tap into the feeling that you want to feel now without needing something outside of you, to allow you, to essentially give you permission to feel a certain way, to validate that it's okay for you to feel a certain way. When you start just feeling how you want to feel now, that's when we really shift. And here's the thing that I feel like isn't talked about enough. When you're able to shift your frequency, aka your feelings, when you shift how you're feeling day to day and you're gradually improving that so it's higher and higher and higher, you are already shifting your beliefs, because when we think about it in terms of energy, your beliefs are attracted to you based off of the frequency that you are embodying. So if we do the frequency work and we get into our body and into our heart and start feeling how we want to feel and bypassing the mind, then by doing this work at the same time, we are also elevating our consciousness, raising our frequency, raising our conscious awareness, and therefore magnetizing thoughts of a higher vibrational frequency. So that means it will be easier for us to think of things like health, wealth, all of the things that we desire, happiness, freedom, whatever it is that you desire, list it. Those thoughts are a lot easier to think about when you feel those feelings already, right? And so in my work, and what I've come to know is that your frequency is so essential. Of course, your mindset is too. But I find that the human part of the human condition is that we get lost in the mind. And the way the image that's coming to me right now is that the mind is a labyrinth, and the programs that we have created in our minds have constructed this labyrinth. And so, yeah, they're intricately woven and they go all of these different ways, but most of the time they end in a dead end because the mind is just trying to keep us safe. So it doesn't actually want us to escape the labyrinth because the labyrinth is what is known. But if we keep trying to come at it from a mental level, we are still just walking through the path of the labyrinth, right? Since we are really unlimited beings that have the potential to be anything, though, we don't have to continue to walk through the labyrinth. We could just merely ascend higher and we could go a different way. We don't have to continue walking through the labyrinth. We could fly over it if we really wanted to. If we stopped trying to look at things from a linear, limited perspective that's blocking us off from all of these opportunities, this health, this wealth, everything that's meant for us, that's divine and great, then we have all of these opportunities. And I just think that the mind is going to keep showing us the labyrinth until we remember that we are unlimited. In our minds, anything is possible. So if we don't want to be in the labyrinth anymore, we can simply choose not to be in the labyrinth anymore. But the easiest way to do that is to go into our bodies and ascend into a higher frequency so that our consciousness level transcends the labyrinth that we're seemingly in when we're in these low vibrational frequency states. And now I get that this is quite advanced. When we start talking about frequency work, this is not something that you've potentially ever heard before. This could be your first time ever hearing about frequencies like this. This could be your first time ever really even thinking about manifestation in a way like this, where you're even invited to think about it in a way that isn't so mental, that is more felt. And I find that this is truly, like, if there were any code that I could give you, this would be the code. And I do think code is a valid term to use because in the world that we live in, it's a quantum world filled with information. And basically, it's all boiled down to just these codes, and everything just has a frequency that it vibrates at. And when we are able to change our subatomic structure, aka recode our cellular DNA, so that the internal world of our body is different, then of course our external world is going to be different, because we know that the external world is a mirror reflection of our internal world. Yet, so many people, when they're learning manifestation, or when they feel like they haven't been able to manifest and they feel like they're just banging their head against the wall, it's because they're still coming at manifestation from the problem frequency that they've been carrying, this low vibrational frequency, and they're expecting their external world to change, yet they haven't changed at all. Yeah, they might have a really great manifestation practice that they're doing 15 minutes a day, but the rest of the day, they still have the same habits. They're still thinking the same thoughts. They still have the same concept of themselves. They still are allowing them to feel the same feelings. They're having the same level of all of these feelings while they're going about their day. So what do I mean by that? A typical person who just kind of feels like they're powerless and not able to manifest consistently is typically what? They're waking up, they're not feeling that great, they're not feeling that energized. They're like, oh, another day, I have to worry about this, and I have to get this done, and I don't have the money for this, and oh my God, and this is a problem I still haven't figured out, and da da da. And they make their coffee, and they're annoyed and they're frustrated, and then they go to their job and they're annoyed and they're frustrated. And like, they're just feeling into the same feelings and they're thinking about the same thoughts. It's like Groundhog Day over and over again. And they're wondering why their 15-minute manifestation method isn't changing anything. It's because they're not changing anything. Because you, at any moment, can decide that you're going to feel grateful. Like right now, I'm so fucking grateful. I have the internet. I'm able to record a podcast. I have this sleeping puppy next to me who sometimes you might hear scuffing around a little bit. And I don't care because I'm so grateful that she's here. And in all honesty, if she wasn't right next to me, she'd be making so much more noise because she would want to be. I'm so grateful that I have clean air. I'm so grateful that I have water to drink. I'm so grateful that I have this beautiful condo. I'm so grateful that it's sunny and bright where I live. I'm so grateful for all of these things. And at the same time, are there still all of these things that I want to manifest? Yes. But am I putting my attention on the things that I don't have and feeling lack energy for not having them right here and now? No, because why would I do that? Why would I give my high vibrational frequency away to things that I don't have, which means that's lack, which also means if I don't have it, I don't necessarily have control over that in this very moment because it's not right here and now. So why am I giving my focus, thoughts, and energy into something that I technically don't have power over? Instead, I can decide to be a conscious creator and I can consciously vibrate with the feelings and the frequency of my desired reality, aka the wish fulfilled. So, if I were to wake up every single day, and by the way, can give you a really great example of how a person wakes up when they feel like they're out of power manifesting, because I was that person and now I wake up and I'm not that person. So now I wake up and I literally stretch and I'm like, oh my God, it's so sunny. Even with my blinds closed, I keep them peeped open a little bit so the sun comes through. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so sunny. I'm so grateful. And I've already woken up at once at that point to take the puppy out of her crate, right? And then we go back to bed and we just cuddle for a little bit. And I wake up and I've got my 2 dogs next to me and I'm so grateful to be alive and I'm so excited to see the sun because I live in South Carolina right now. So it's like always sunny. And I wake up and I'm just so grateful. I have this beautiful condo that I live in. I get to live alone, which, oh my God, I love so much. Like I love being able to have my own energy and my own space and to be able to cultivate it and feel into it and vibe into it. And then I wake up and we go outside and I feel some sun on my face and I'm so grateful. And I come in and I feed them and I'm so grateful that they've got food. And then I put on some high vibrational podcast or audiobook or a program that I'm in from my mentor or whatever it is. And I just before I've looked at my phone, before I've thought about any problem that my mind could be creating, before I automatically expect today to be mundane and boring if yesterday was mundane or boring, or if I'm just using yesterday as a standard by how good today gets to be, then I'm limiting myself. I'm not expecting miracles. And the more you expect miracles, the more you get miracles. And the more you moment by moment shift back to a present state of awareness, that's when your mind isn't tripping you out and taking you back into the labyrinth of all of these problems that you need to have. Because quite frankly, if you're here and now, it's not really a problem. And the only way it's going to keep being a problem is if you keep focusing on it like it's a problem. If you get into a better state and you feel better and you just trust that everything's going to work out and that you're always supported and that you live in an abundant universe and that you're worthy of everything good that you desire and want, and that you get to have it just because you are alive, and that's it. Like, you don't have to work for it. You don't have to prove yourself. You just get to have everything that you want when you let yourself have it and trust that it's coming. Do you see how there's so much potency in how you're moving and how you're showing up day to day? It isn't about the 15 minutes. Like, I'm all about meditation. You know, I'm all about meditation. You know that I love rewiring, recoding, regulating. All of these things are so essential. But I'm not just doing these things 15 minutes out of the day. Embodiment isn't something you practice, it's a frequency you hold. So it's not about what you're doing in the 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes out of the day. It's what are you doing? What frequency are you holding? What beliefs are you believing? What stories are you telling yourself? What are you expecting from the universe? What moves are you making? Who are you being throughout the day? It doesn't have to be some esoteric thing. I think that the law of attraction makes it so esoteric. And because it's so esoteric, a lot of people truly just don't know how to grasp it in a tangible way. And one thing that I fucking love doing is learning really esoteric concepts and making it really tangible. Hello, that's why Alchemy of Manifestation exists. Like, what is there right now? 16 hours of content, like 16 different practices. It's because I have taken these very complex things and I've made them tangible. I've put them in formats for you to understand, for you to apply. And I think that this is one of those notions that I still see in the collective, seeming like it's beyond their grasp. And I'm not going to normalize that story anymore. You absolutely know how you want to feel. You absolutely know the things that you desire. You absolutely know that you are born for more than you currently have. You know these things. You know what it would feel like if you had everything that you desired. You know. You've felt these feelings before. So you need to stop believing that you have to have these things to feel this way, because if you've already felt these feelings before and you technically don't have these things, that's proving your mind wrong. And your mind is just going to keep trying to suck you back into the labyrinth. The ego wants you to stay where it's always been, because it's comfortable, because it's predictable, because even though there's monsters there, we're familiar with those monsters, and we'd rather play the same old stories with the same old monsters and know their routines than break free of them and possibly have no monsters at all, but then not know what we're getting ourselves into. But isn't that the beauty? Isn't that where the magic comes from? Isn't that how the miracles come in, when we don't know and we allow ourselves to play there? I think the thing that keeps so many people trapped in their current reality is that they don't ever do their frequency work. They're never even taught this. They never have heard a conversation about it. If they do hear it, they hear it in such a short form, like a TikTok video that's less than 3 minutes, or in a way where it's not explained in depth enough. So they don't believe it. They think it's too spiritual. Even though, you guys, if you're paying attention, I have always said that the only thing that divides spirituality and science is the line that humanity drew. There is no separation between spirituality and science. We're ultimately studying the same things. We're just studying it from a different lens, right? And I would argue that now that quantum physics is becoming world renowned with the Nobel Prize, that it's not spiritual or scientific anymore. It's both. And if we just take these labels off of them, we would be able to integrate so much more of our consciousness, because we'd stop trying to make everything so black and white, and we would start seeing the world for what it really is and knowing it for what it can be. And when we understand the quantum realm, there is no time. So the only moment that you have is this moment right now. So why wouldn't you want to feel your best in this moment right now? Why wouldn't you want to be able to feel into what it would be like to have your dream car, to feel into what it would be like to be in your dream relationship, to feel like what it would be like to have the dream amount of money in your bank account, to feel like what it would feel like to have your dream family, to feel like what it would feel like to have the dream luxury vacations. Like, if you spent more time playing into the feelings of what's possible and what's potential, rather than the mundane that you're expecting from the past evidence that your mind has created, you would literally change your reality so quickly. That's what quantum leaping is. It's you really nailing the frequency work because you're understanding the energetic principles at play. You understand the quantum realm that you're playing in, and you're able to manifest super consciously and super quickly because you've become a master of your reality. And that's what I teach you in Alchemy of Manifestation. And we're going to go super deep into the quantum realm in quantum, because there's just so much that I have to teach you on quantum. And I understand that not everyone is ready to have the quantum conversation yet, because when you start telling people that time isn't real and then you start backing it up with science, with spirituality, with everything that supports it, because it's never failed in any study, then your mind really goes, So I get that not everyone's ready to have the quantum conversation. So quantum is going to be its own unique, special space for that quantum conversation. But if you are feeling really invigorated, if you're really feeling into this new frequency and you're feeling the potentiality, that's so awesome. And I'm so excited for you. And I would highly recommend that you jump into Alchemy of Manifestation, because not only is Alchemy of Manifestation going to get you to these really deep energetic frequency principles that I'm talking to you about here, but in 5 hours of content, it's also going to take you through the practices that help you to rewire your mind, to regulate your nervous system, and to recode your cellular DNA so that you can actually hold these new frequencies in your body and get out of that labyrinth that your mind has created and that you feel you're stuck in, aka your current reality. So that's it for today. I will be back tomorrow with a new topic to share with you about manifesting your dream reality, and I'm so excited. Let me know if you're loving this series. Make sure to take a screenshot and tag me and say your biggest takeaway. I don't know, guys, I might be coming back to Instagram, so just tag me on Instagram or share it on TikTok or YouTube, wherever you're hanging out, because we're hanging out on new platforms these days. But yeah, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you're ready to go deeper and to get into my world, you can go to my website, alexaraysmith.com. You'll find all of my current programs on there. If you're desiring to get mentored by me, then the best thing to do is shoot me a DM on Instagram, and we can talk about mentorship options and which one's the best fit for you. If you're absolutely loving this podcast, please go rate it 5 stars and let me know why you're loving it. This will help me share the podcast with more people. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and until the next episode, keep manifesting the most incredible life.